Welcome to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. Are you evaluating your career in real estate? Feel like you're ready for a fresh start? Or ready to take your career to the next level? This is your podcast. Welcome back to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. I'm here once again with my co-host, Alicia and Deborah Morton. So today we are going to be talking about a strategy that I think people really want to profit from, but can sometimes find is more of a profit drain than a profitable strategy, and that is using online and paid leads. I feel like it's one of those things that it's like everybody's doing it, but does everybody do it well? And my thought is no. I think most people pour a bunch of money into online and paid leads and do a very poor job of leveraging those leads to convert them into clients. Now, Deborah happens to be a Zillow Flex company, and this is one reason I wanted to pick your brain on this, because you're very good at this. And I know you also can give us some perhaps some warnings, some do's and don'ts on what to think about when you're getting into the online leads game. So first, I want to start like very basic and ask each of you, how important do you think it is to have online or paid leads as part of your overall lead generation strategy for your businesses?
So it is a significant part of my business, but I have managed to keep it. I try to keep it down to a percentage, as in the goal is less than 20% of my business is generated from online leads. Now, truth be told, when you're on a Zillow Flex team, that expands at the rate that Zillow will throw leads at you. So for me, managing that and making sure that my lead flow is coming from an assortment of lead sources, that's a challenge as a team leader that I have. But I am always in awe because Alicia, my friend, has the best business model. She works by referral.
Yes, I do. I love it.
Any online or paid leads, Alicia?
I actually do have a little teeny trinkle of online paid leads through, I use Sierra Interactive as the website. It's the back end of my website, of the personal website I do, and I partner with a lender, and so I pay about just an extra $100 a month only for Google pay-per-click leads. And how that works is I gave them zip codes of areas and they put ads out around the listings that come out in that zip code. So it's really buyer leads. So I've actually closed a lot of them. We just closed one recently. So it's about, you have to remember, anybody that's online is top of the funnel typically, not your necessarily Zillow Flex, because they're ready to buy. They're like wanting to see a house, but typical general online, they're top. So you just got to sift them down like this.
Meredith, you should probably explain the funnel to the people who are newer.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I should have, I'm talking like what? Yes, sorry, people.
All good. So the funnel is the way that we think about the stage that the lead is in. So top of funnel, think of it as like the big wide part of the funnel, right? Where they're like swimming around and they're kind of like, they might be popping in and out of thought about potentially making a move, but they're not really ready to fully engage yet. Middle funnel is they've made some sort of significant engagement in the process. And sometimes that looks like they've like gone and looked at a house or two. They've maybe set up a search through a portal that you have. Maybe they've engaged in some kind of conversation with you, but they probably haven't actually met with you yet or become engaged with you as a client. Bottom of the funnel is you've taken them in as a client, you're actively showing them properties, or you've got a listing agreement. Maybe you're not marketing their house yet, but they're ready to transact when the right house or the right buyer comes forth. So
when we talk about any online lead, bottom of the funnel is hot, middle of the funnel is warm, and top of the funnel might be cooler. I don't want to say cold. To me, cold is non-responsive, but just a general inquiry is top of the funnel. So depending on the online lead source, it depends where they're falling in the funnel, and they are priced accordingly.
And would you say that the majority of leads, like if you look at your entire list of online leads, let's just take Zillow Flex leads, for example, are the majority top of funnel, or how would you characterize like the percentage at any given time in your business
Well, I have a very robust and expansive online lead flow. So there are many different types. So people are familiar with Sierra Interactive. Ylopo is an example. These are websites that do lead generation online. Many of the brokerages will have real scout, like there's lots of different options for bolt-on lead generation, online leads. I was a big, so Boomtown is one, Ylopo is one, Commissions Inc., also called Sync. Those are one. And what they'll do is they will run ads through Google, or we call them PPC. They're pay-per-click ads that are run through these vendors. They dump into your system, and the key to conversion on those is speed to lead. Hits your system, you call them right away. Hopefully you can engage them. My experience is over the last 5 years, those pay-per-click leads have deteriorated in quality because people have spam blockers. They know not to pick up their phone. There's just a lot more restrictions. I don't find those top of funnel pay-per-click leads to be as effective as they once were. When I started in the industry, that's how I built my business. That's how I learned to script my conversation. I can convert online leads like nobody's business because I was broke, I was hungry, and I wanted to learn. I wanted to eat. So speed to lead worked. Having the right scripts and dialogues to engage them, and then a really robust nurture program worked. Again, I don't think they're as effective as they once were, so they're a smaller part of my business now. But there are other lead sources, like now when I run my own Facebook and Google or YouTube ads, those are also online leads. They're coming from social, they're coming from Google, they're coming from different places, but I am more strategic in my placement of those leads. Again, speed to lead. They hit your website, you got a call within the first 5 minutes to at least leave the voicemail. I'm not a secret agent. I always leave a voicemail. I follow up with a text. I follow up with an email. I will call 4 hours later to follow up again. I will call again. And it's at least 18 contacts before you back off.
Wow. Okay. So it sounds to me like you're considering that like a potentially hot lead, regardless of where it comes from, until you've determined it isn't by those 18 contact attempts. Can
Yeah.
I ask you, do you have a script that you leave on the voicemail?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Deborah Morton with Clario Real Estate. Thanks for registering on my site. I'm reaching out to help you with your buying or selling or your real estate needs. This might not be the best moment for us to connect, but if you'll call me back this afternoon, I'm here for you. You can reach me after business hours because that's probably going to be most convenient for you. I look forward to speaking to you then.
I like it. I like it. I like that, especially that last part about after business hours, so people understand they're welcome to call you then. Are you texting the same basic message?
I text a shorter message. I get similar, so, and I actually have a bunch of them. I use Follow Up Boss as my CRM, so I have text templates saved in Follow Up Boss so that I can just go in and they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like it's super easy for me to do all of this from my phone on the fly.
Okay. Do you have a chat bot that is engaging people when they come into your system?
I do not currently have one. I used to use any Ylopo users know Raya is a thing, and it's an AI enhanced chatbot that will reach out to people on your behalf. I happen to adore Raya, and I think she's amazing. He, she, it, whatever you want to call it. I know Sync has one. I know a lot of the programs do. My team agents did not like her at all. They felt like she was too aggressive and did not speak in their voice,
Hmm.
which I found interesting because they don't convert as high a level as I do.
Hmm.
So if you get hung up on the tone of the chat bot, it might not be for you. But if you just understand that engagement, when people say stop or F off or go away, that is a response. Cool. I'll move on to the next person. To me, it's one less follow up I have to do.
Okay. Okay. Now, is that sort of the same thing for your PPC, Alicia? Are you doing the same kind of an outreach, or what does your method look like?
Girl, I don't do any of that.
She's so
So I don't
nice.
really.
I'm telling you, Alicia has like the ultimate, like,
I kind of look at those as extra frosting, or this. They're like
Okay.
the sprinkles on my business. So if you're making a cake, they're not it's the sprinkles. Like they're great when they come in, but I don't really
You're
spend
not
that
pursuing.
much on them. They're
Alicia's eating
there.
cake and I've got a spear and I'm out here hunting on the plains to
I
kill
just,
something.
I just want to hang out. I am the flower, and I let the butterflies come. That's how I see it.
I'm like, "Rrr, rrr."
You're like, I'm catching them with the
Interesting,
net.
two very different
I have
ways.
I'm
traps
catching them with
set,
the net. And I'm just gonna be
sharpening my
there.
spear.
Okay,
Two
and at the same
two
time,
different models, but both work. That's the important thing.
yes,
Both work. It's what
both
it
work.
do.
Yeah. And part of it is the amount of time and money you're spending to invest in these things. And part of it is, like you said, Deborah, the percentage of your overall business that you're
Right.
strategizing. So if you have a 20% overall revenue strategy for this method, you should be budgeting about 20% of your time and effort and resources into converting
Right.
these leads. So if you find it swinging the other way, and that's kind of the hard thing to keep in track of, but
Oh, it's the hardest thing. It is
yeah.
very, very, very challenging. And for me, like Zillow Flex, just for somebody who's I am in Atlanta is an enhanced market. And what that means is you cannot buy Zillow leads in Atlanta. You have to be on a flex team to receive leads. So it's different in other parts of the country. You can only buy leads and there's no flex. And then there's hybrid markets where you have flex teams competing against the paid lead teams.
Yep.
In every instance, Zillow's domination over the online search portal. Everybody searches on Zillow. So they are charging the most money. So back to the funnel, the top of the line, the cheapest leads are very high in the funnel. Those are people who are not ready to transact. Zillow are hot leads. These are people who want to see a house and buy a house soon. Not that all of they're not all like that, but I think it was 22% transact immediately. And then there's another 20% that are in the next 3 months, then another 20%. So like Zillow has all the data about that. So we have a strong nurture program in place for Zillow as well. But Zillow is like instant. But because of that, it's the most expensive. And that makes sense. We also have other tools like Homelight, Realtor.com. There is a huge assortment of online lead opportunities.
Yeah.
I also get 1,000 texts a day from, hey, we have a ISA program. We can sell you leads for 10%, like whatever. All of those texts, I don't even answer those anymore because they're all junk.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you apply the same strategy, that 18-point outreach, to wherever it comes from, if it's a Homelight lead or if it's another source like that?
So if it is a performance managed lead, which would be like Homelight Elite or performance managed means the company that is providing the leads to you manages your performance and you have to hit certain standards to maintain that partnership with them. There is no end to the reach with those because I have to hit the standards. I have to have a conversion ratio that meets or exceeds. It's actually meeting the minimum with Zillow or Homelight is not enough. You have to exceed minimum standards. So
Yeah.
only the leads that I pay for in advance, like the pay per click, do I have like that magic 18 number? And it's not magic. Sometimes it's more. If it's in a price point in an area that I'm working, or I can see that there's some online activity happening on the back end, I would continue past 18 touches.
Got it. Okay. And then if you get to that 18 and you still haven't converted, or maybe the person is just not responding to you at all. And so this is the problem that I see with most agents who work online leads, is either they miss that window of speed to lead and they don't convert and the lead goes to another agent, or they try a couple of times and they give up. So then the lead is in the CRM, it's hanging out there with no outreach, or the outreach they try to do is maybe a single text or maybe a
It's
single
weak.
email.
It's
And that's
super
it.
weak.
Yeah. So both of you guys chime in on this because I want to know, when somebody, you've done all the things, so you've done the strong outreach, right? Or Alicia, in your case, the person is more it's the, you're the butterfly and no, you're the flower. The butterflies are coming at you. It's the butterfly. It's flitted down for a second and now it's flown off somewhere.
A
How do you keep
beautiful
them in
flower, talk to us.
how do you keep them in your net? So how do you nurture to make sure that that lead stays in front of you, or you stay in front of the lead, so that when they are ready to transact, because sometimes that's the issue. They're just not ready to transact. So it's nothing to do with you, but you
I think
really
a lot of
tried. They're
just
not ready.
staying in connection with who I serve. And I think I've been very intentional about who I want to work with.
If you're interested in learning how to become that go-to local real estate expert all the sellers call to give you their listings, read Farming for Real Estate Agents. You can pick up your copy today on Amazon, Kindle, on Audible, or anywhere you get books.
And who's for me and who's not for me, and letting things go that I don't want to serve. Like I won't drive past a certain area, and Deb knows this. And I'm like, I'm not going there. That's not for me. Like that, just don't want to do that. And I have no problem letting those things go. And I really like to focus on where I want to serve in my clientele circle and who sees value in me. And I think it's that know, like, trust pattern, like we always hear about. So online is that they know you because you're calling them, they know you, but you're not really sure if they like, trust you yet. Right. And so you're working on them to like you. They might know and like you, but do they really trust you? And what I
And then
found is,
is the timing right?
yeah,
Because Alicia is so likable and so trustworthy, but sometimes it's just not a timing thing. And agents often give up when I mean, like how egocentric are we to think that, oh, they didn't answer me? They don't need a house. They're
no.
busy with life and kids and
But you just have to
jobs.
keep loving on them. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
acknowledge I do birthdays. I do a holiday card every year. I do like I'm delivering Girl Scout cookies now.
Those
I
are
buy
bad
the
for
Girl
you.
Scout cookies from my clients, children, because I used to be Girl Scout, but now I'm not. I split it up between people that sell that are my clients. Um, and I ask for the business. Like I ask, in the deal, hey, who do you know? Don't forget to send me all your people. I only work by referral. I like to say that I really work by referral. Like I really do. And what happens, and I do open houses. I convert people through open houses and through door knocking and do certain things, but they quickly come into my circle. So I kind
Mhm.
of like, it's kind of like I just keep uh, collecting people. I mean, I
So for
still
you,
tell people
if
that leave
somebody
the area.
comes to you online, what I think I hear you saying is if they're the people that you want to work with, they're your avatar client, they're going to quickly be caught right by your net, and they're going to
It's
see
her
that they're
sweet
great for you.
scent.
Yes, her sweet scent.
They're
Yes,
gonna be they're
yes,
gonna be brought in with my cookies.
yeah, right. Exactly, exactly. Okay, so
Hi. I
Okay,
do
hold
I
on.
think
That's weird and weird.
sweets.
Um,
I
All
don't
my
know where
sweets
your mind is going, but okay.
so
Let me take you back for one second.
bad, Deb.
Staying on theme with our online lead gen piece here. So you've got the people that you're staying in front of.
Mhm.
And I heard you say something I want to just address for a second, which is, how egotistical are we to think? But here's what I see. I see something that has nothing to do, maybe it's ego, but I don't think it is. It's the agents that tell themselves the story that I don't want to bug them if I'm too salesy, if I'm too pushy. I don't want to be that person who's so aggressive, right? And they're telling themselves that story. Whereas I think on the other end, the lead is telling themselves a totally different story is they didn't care. They're too busy for me,
Mhm.
clearly. My business is not important to them. So they are telling a whole different story if we allow ourselves to believe that we're being pushy or aggressive by staying in front of people. Of course, there's a nice
I
way to
think the
do it, right
listener
way to
needs
do it.
to pause right now and rewind 30 seconds and re-listen to that because Meredith, that is spot on.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. And it's one reason that agents shoot themselves in the foot when there are people who are ready, willing, and so grateful for the service that they provide once they're able to engage with them. It's just a matter of us taking it. But that's where the ego comes in. It's not about us. Take yourself out of that story, make it about the other person, and then you're
Well, and how much value
there.
are you adding? So
Yeah.
somebody comes in and I hate referring to them as leads because they are people. I have people in my database that have been there 2, 3, 4 years that I then engage and transact with, because all of the tools are set up in your CRM. I don't care what brokerage you're at. The technology is good enough. If they're in there and you have them on your bi-weekly email list, you're doing the monthly calls, you're sending a quarterly CMA if you have their home address, if you're doing the right things, eventually they are going to, if you're sharing your social, if you're sending valuable property tax information, if you are valuable to them, a couple years later when they are actually ready, oh, my kids are graduating in this year. I had people reach out to me in September whose kids are finally seniors in high school. They know that they're going to want to make a move this coming summer, but I have been nurturing them for 3 years since their kids started high school.
Yeah.
Like that's a normal sales cycle for a family with a home. And we as agents tend to think that that sales cycle, like we forget this is not bicycles or cars or shoes or watches. This is a home. So there's a lot more at play here than make your calls.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because I think that's the other thing that I wanted to ask you guys about is nurture. I think some people think of nurture as stick them on a drip campaign, right? If they even do that, or allow whatever the platform is, if there's a chat bot, to just keep engaged. But there's so many more ways to nurture those leads who are maybe like top of funnel or mid funnel. One being adding them to your regular communication. So let me ask you this. Do you add people who come to you via an online portal to like your newsletter list? To
Do.
what else do you
So
add?
Yes.
Yeah.
at a higher level, you can also use retargeting campaigns. So you have a whole list. Let's say we'll shrink it down. So let's say you have 500 people in your database that are untouched. You could set up a retargeting campaign online through Meta or like there are tools available. That is a higher level of conversation, but those retargeting campaigns would allow your face and your ad to show up on all the places as they search the internet. And that is one way to re-engage, to get a higher level of re-engagement with a database that appears stale.
Beautiful. What else? What else can people do to keep nurturing these longer term lead people? We'll call them people.
I think ask for permission to connect.
Ah,
So when I do call my on so I actually have my husband Michael who actually texts these people and gets and we have like the ones that raise their hand, or someone will submit a request to get information, then I'll call them and I'll just have a conversation. And a lot of times it's people moving from out of the area and they just find your stuff. And so I just kind of get to know them. It's like talking to someone, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what is your story? And take notes on who these people are. And before I hang up, I say, may I have permission to continue to check in and follow up with you until you make a
okay.
decision on what you want to do?
That's great. What a
Mhm.
great tip. What a great way to put yourself in a position of service and get the buy-in from the
Yeah,
potential
and then when you do
client.
follow up, what you're doing subconsciously is telling them this person did what they said they were going to do. So it's a coin in the trust, right? It's a coin in the she does what she says she's going to do. She's professional. She follows up. So subconsciously you're doing, and you're kind of like imprinting upon this person to go beyond that know like. They already know and like you now because you built that rapport, and you're earning your trust so that when they're here to purchase, they're ready to listen to you and work with you.
That's
Meredith,
great.
I would like to comment on you said the head game that agents go to with not wanting to be salesy. So agents, you need to get comfortable with the fact that you are a salesperson. So if you don't want to be a salesperson, you should not be in sales. But a professional, high quality salesperson is a professional, and professional salespeople do this. Like this is a normal thing because it's what our career dictates. If you're not professional, it will be very off-putting conversation. But what Alicia just said is the professional way to address somebody who has raised their hand at some point for real estate information.
Excellent.
They came on your site and they registered, so it's not like it's not like you're knocking on their door.
I do think there's an identity problem that salespeople have about being salespeople. I'm proud of the work I do, and I know that I'm good at it, and I like to be available when it's time for somebody to transact in real estate. Of course, they're going to want to call me because I'm really good at it.
Mhm.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. Love that. What about putting people who come to you via an online lead into your automatic MLS update portal? Do you guys do that?
I ask them to do it sometimes if I want to follow them more closely and
Okay.
they want the information right up front.
How about you, Deb? Is that something you do?
It depends. I have several different tech stacks. So I don't use my local MLS. It is not as customizable as I'm currently using Real Scout, and that will automatically start. I have it set up to automatically start. Now I have set the parameters on it so it's not as aggressive. It's not doing the daily touches until I make contact with somebody and I know what they're looking for. I really don't like to spam. It's kind of off-putting, and it will ruin your deliverability to your email address if you spam people.
Okay.
What I am getting effective results with right now are video messages and video emails. So if they open a video and look at it, there's some engagement. I also look at their browsing history. So if you can see what they're looking at and you customize a home search for them and tell them this is what I've done for you, and you don't ask for anything back, let them browse in peace. When they're ready to talk to me, I
Yep.
know they're going to call.
Yep.
Okay, so tell me about the video messaging. What is that? What is the content? And when is it right to send a video message?
I don't think there is a wrong time to send a video message. I think the marketplace and the world is so noisy, and we are so video centric now. It people are more comfortable with it. Depending on the platform you use, I do think a short video text. Hi, I'm Deborah. Meredith, thank you for using my site to browse home. I wanted to introduce myself so you have a face with the name and know that I'm a real person, I'm local, and I'm here to help whenever you're ready.
Love it. So good. So good. Awesome. Now, would you do another video message at some point through your journey of trying to convert this person into a potential client?
Yeah, and for the agents who have time to do it, they're looking in a certain area. So I know that you're looking in Old Fourth Ward, Atlanta. That's the only home. Like this requires a level of stalking. You know what their browsing history is, but there hasn't been real engagement or a conversation. The next video message could be, hey, I'm in Old Fourth Ward today showing some houses. Take a look at this. Flip the camera and show them something you're looking at and say, if you're interested in taking a look at anything, reach out anytime. I'm here frequently. I work that,
You're
like that way they
really
know
good
you're
to
the,
work for them
yeah,
already. They're
yeah.
seeing how you work. They're seeing that you're that interested in working with them, and you've really paid attention to who they are and what they're looking
Right.
at.
Now, don't
Brilliant.
send junky messages that if you don't
Yes.
listen and you don't pay attention, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's good.
agree.
Okay. So
I agree.
in our last couple minutes here, give me your top couple or few what not to do with online leads.
Don't make assumptions.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Don't just assume that's all crap or they're not good.
Oh, thank
They're,
you.
Good. That's
don't
great.
just assume you don't know what you don't know. So go in with being curious, like we had talked about, be curious, be interested in them. There's a human being on the other side of it, as long as it's not a scammy one. Obviously, the WhatsApp people are kind of, but I actually did get a WhatsApp person once that was real. So you never know. He was French and they have to use WhatsApp because this stuff doesn't work there.
Yeah.
And he was selling his mom here. So there is legitimate business to be had. It's just another lead pillar. So it's about how committed, how consistent, go with an open mind and open heart and don't make decisions on something you don't know. That's
I love
Great
that
advice.
you said that, Alicia, because in the pace that we work, it's easy to lose the human element. And the most important thing we need to remember is that they are humans. They are people with families, and we deal in homes. It's not transactions, and they're not just leads or prospects. So very important to remember. And I would follow up with that from the Zillow. I know there's people listening who are Zillow Flex team members. there are no such thing as bad leads.
Mm.
That's it. They are human beings. And at some point, they want to buy or sell a house. They need a
Why
place
do
to
you think they're
live.
there?
Mhm.
They're not just, even if they're dreaming, that's something aspirational they want. Like, don't you want to be that person when they're ready to do it?
And we
Yeah.
should not blame the response of the people who, when we connect with them, they don't know what kind of tech is happening on the background. All they're doing is looking at a house. Don't judge them for clicking that blue button and making a call. Like, they had no idea that what kind of a spider web of technology they just signed up for.
Yeah.
They don't
They
know.
don't know. They
Have
some of them
some
work with other
grace.
agents. Like, give
Yeah.
them advice and like, or let the agent that's working with them know they found their way on your website. Like, that's courtesy agent to agent relationship too, right?
Yes.
And Rail Scout, I have that as well. And I have Fellow. A lot of people click that button, the valuation thing, and you get it to them and they're like, oh my God, I didn't even realize I clicked it. But you're
Yeah.
giving that, but what they did see is that I followed up again, a coin in the bank of wow, she's there always. And it allowed me to connect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
always there's an opportunity. Look for the opportunity. Don't look at like this is a waste of my time.
Oh,
I think what you guys both said so beautifully, and I hope the audience heard this, if you're out there listening, is that the faster you take this from a lead online tech connection to a
Mhm.
human connection of
Yeah.
service, the
Yes.
faster that person becomes somebody that you get to serve.
and I
And you
think
get you'll like them and you'll want to work with them, right?
Yeah.
the whole industry will be better when we start treating people like people again.
Ugh,
Yes.
so well said. All right, mic drop on that. Let's leave it at that. That was a beautiful way to close. Thank you guys both
Okay.
so much. I hope everybody listening got some great tips and some ways to reframe the way you think about online lead generation and the people that you're serving online in a different way. So thank you all for listening. Thank you, Alicia and Deborah. This has been So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. We'll see you next time.